Hi, Martine. Jeff Allen here, and I just saw your post. I'm catching up a few days, kind of backlog of doing videos, and so I'm sitting here at McDonald's and kind of dropped by and decided it's kind of quiet here on Sunday mornings, so I can get a lot of videos done and catch up. And dealing with my Halloween voice that didn't get to go to TCOM and sing and present. My two presentations got COVID plus a Halloween voice, right? And so we're working on dealing with the Halloween voice, some adding some real meds on top of the natural stuff I attempted for a couple weeks that didn't quite do the job, and my coughing and all that. So we're trying to address that, and so I'm probably making the coughing worse. But if I don't do these videos, I'm gonna have so much backlog I'll never catch up. So. And I have too many of these things to do. I make so many notes every day. I got to make these videos. So I just saw your post on Le Cahier du Design Thinking au Quotidien. And and so it looks like it's the French edition based on the comments and all that. It's a French edition of an existing one. Looks like and looks like Whitey was, involved in that pretty heavily from what I could see all the different comments. And looks like published by Pearson. So Pearson got a good name. So um and I just thought I want to add a things, kind of my comments, my view on design thinking. Having done this for, I mean, that work at SAPs. I mean, we've introduced design thinking for the past decade at least the past decade. A lot of, 2012. I mean, in one of the teams I was in the DevOps team back in 2012, we were introducing in that team, and it was all kind of the buzz thing a little bit, but a lot was happening around 2011 to 2013 when we were starting to do all this. And I'm saying design thinking specifically because there was all agile and stuff before, but that's a different thing, right? But the real focus on design thinking workshops and all that stuff, and doing interviews and workshops with post-its on the boards and interview sessions and getting to know what the customer wants and all that. And it was funny because when we were starting our team, I had already been doing this for at least a decade before. Just didn't call it design thinking, right? Just called it customer relationship management. Just was always involved in customer relationship management with program management roles or project management roles or account management roles or professional service management roles or whatever. You just work with the customer and know what their needs are. And across all kinds of different industries, right? A lot of stuff. Sorry, my cough, but I got to deal with the cough, right? A lot of it is actually in wireless, cellular, mobile, wireless telecom. There, you only have a small number of customers in the world, so you don't lose your customers, right? So you work with them closely because you can't lose 100 customers, any of the 100 customers of the world, the entire globe, right? Because once you lose one, they all talk together, right? Because they're all in user conferences. So you don't screw it up with telecom industry. Okay, it's the niche is too small. So that's like that why I learned about repeat business and retaining customers are really important. And do all those approaches to work with the customers to know their needs, know what they want, and not to mess it up. So then bring it over to New York and software, SAP. Get 2,000 apps, right? So I mean, you got a lot of apps, a lot of products, a lot of things that a lot of customers can use in a lot of industries. So you got to get to know what their needs are, especially in really wide kind of things like business intelligence and predictive analytics and business analytics. You can apply to anything. So you got to know what your customer wants for their specific implementation. So you got to do these kinds of things, right? Enterprise performance management worked in that too. So you got to know how they want to implement the analytics aspects for their thing in finance or in other different things. So this is real key, right? So this is really important of getting to know how you're going to implement a product that's wide in scale or general or vague and can be customized in specific ways. We have all kinds of implementations. So I've been involved in a lot of this. So, and then even I'll say in the past, this past year, I actually did, actually in 2015, 2016, I led a whole project called the WordShare project And I did a number of talks called the Gloss Talks. And they're all up in a Facebook, right? I call it the Gloss Talks page. And I did all these brainstorming sessions um, in different fields, right? It was the same topic applied to 15 different fields. We did it in 1 month. I invited like everyone in the world to come to this thing, and we had 250 registrations, 150 unique people, had 30 actually participate in 1 month. Across 15 different industry sessions of different industries, all on top of how you can integrate terminology into your vocabulary, customer specific vocabulary into your whatever you're doing, right? Hotel industry, restaurant industry, healthcare industry, recruiting industry, mobile phone industry, whatever. Just a wide range of things. And everybody had the same kind of opinions, right? Same things, just expressed for different implementations, but the same ideas, the same just recurring ideas. But we did it all in this, and all I did, I mean, this is really simple. All I did was just do 1 hour sessions. I was using Adobe Connect back then. I mean, it's now do it in Zoom or Microsoft Teams. It's just a different platform. People could call in on their phone on any local number in anywhere in the world, pretty much. And I just had a presentation with a bunch of pods and and took notes and took chat notes and just present and just got people to talk. Just got people to say things verbally in the application in the online software, or if they didn't, I just took notes or had them write in the chat, or I took in the chat and just document everything. And I put this all into a voting platform that we had put up and had everybody sign into, and terms and conditions, all that, to protect their intellectual property that they were proposing, and just had them vote on it. And it worked. It just went crazy in 1 month. We just had really good stuff. And what I did was I had suggested this at the company before. I said, look, what's my budget for working on this new idea stuff and the idea capturing? And there was silence. And I said, okay, so I'm going to do this for free, right? So we did it for free. We It was brainstorming, right? It was just a bunch of 1 hour brainstorming sessions to get people to explain their needs, what they wanted, and to cross validate across all these different industries. And 1 hour sessions. I'm not talking about 4 hour workshops, because I've done the 4 hour workshops too, and sat in those and post-its, and I've done a lot of those. Um, I've seen a lot of those. I've participated in a lot of them and said, gee, this is taking too long. This is just too slow. And so I decided to optimize it and turn it into 1 hour sessions online. Yeah, I can do online sessions. Don't have to do things in person. It can be done with no budget. So, but if you got to do it just right, and so the whole design thinking can be done, in easy ways. And when you turn into small chunks like that, and I haven't even read the book yet, right? So I need to get the book, right. Is to turn into stuff that you're doing every day, right? You're If you're doing every day, it just turns into something that you're really living, right? You're not just doing a workshop on for half a day. And it's really hard to get customers to come in for prospects especially. Even customers have been around for a while. It's still hard to get a block of a half day, right? But it's easy to block of an hour, right? Or do an hour here, an hour there. Very, very focused things. Trying to capture stuff fast, right? But in an organized way that allows it to be useful, and then make sure it's documented, and then people vote on it, check it, and cross-validate it. Hey, sorry, McDonald's, but I'm McDonald's, right? So you get the noise. It's Sunday morning. It's lunchtime. It's no longer breakfast time, so there's more people coming. So usually the morning's better to do these videos because there's anybody here. um, but I think this is key as I've been doing this across a lot of different and ops teams. We're doing it for different things. We're experimenting. But I did see that the surveys we were doing and all the questions and stuff. You got two people doing the questions, ask the questions, one's taking notes and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I've done a lot of this, or I've watched a lot of people do. I participated and thought how I could make it more efficient. And then this past year, what I did is I made our architects for a user assistance architects program. One of the people doing the program had heard that I did this project 5 years ago, 7 years ago now. Said Jeff's got these things that we haven't even didn't know about capturing user requirements. I want to have him come talk in one of our architects program training programs. So I did 2 repeat sessions. And it's like, you know, the funny thing of this, it's a 1 hour session, right? Um, and for the first 15 minutes of a 1 hour session, I asked them what their needs were, of why they were coming to this session, about capturing requirements fast. It seems like a waste of time, right? But the cool thing about this was that the first 25% of the time, 15 minutes of the whole hour, was focused on them expressing their needs of why they came and why they were there and what they were expecting to get out of that session. And then I told them after that, I said, I've just done design thinking with you for the first 15 minutes about a session about doing design thinking and capturing requirements. I've just done it with you. I said, this is what you need to do. You don't have to sit there and come to a workshop. And you said, we're going to have a 1 hour workshop, 15 minutes, we just do it, right? And they didn't even know I was doing this, right? I was doing it intentionally to show them how to do it. Show and tell, right? And it totally worked. And during the rest of the session, as we began to do things, and other things, I took them like to another planet, right? Some of these folks were just like, whoa. And I said, every time I'd be going out talk, and I'd say, I hope that you feel like you feel like you're on this ship that's trying to get off the Earth, and I'm already taking you to the next solar system, right? And I hope I'm like freaking you out, because this is what you can do. And I said, I did this with a project 6 years ago. I just did it, just a bunch of brainstorming sessions all up, and you can watch all the videos for free. I mean, this is nothing. You can see how I did it, right? 1 hour session, boom, 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 boom. Same thing, repeat, different industries, different people. And I just kind of summarized it in this thing, and I gave all the stats and showed what the results were and how many repetitive ideas we had from all these things. And it actually corresponded to everything I had thought about in the beginning anyways. So we didn't need to do all these things. But it was good cross-validation, because it really did confirm what the customers wanted, right? Their prospects wanted, or what do you want to call these, users wanted. But I think that this is key in doing this in a daily life, doing this all the time, because it was like this, it seemed like brand new to them. And one of the colleagues was very introvert. So I just called him up after, said, hey, let's think about some other ways to do this, and applied to their personal life of playing instruments. I could see in the background that when they went to the Zoom session or whatever, the team session, I could see they had a bass guitar on the wall. So I said, why don't you do some videos about doing that? And that turned into cooking. And I actually gave that person some ideas of how to present and make a presentation, to give a pitch, to put up a presentation. And that person was able to do it. Hey, that's personalized stuff, right? It's customer, it's a requirement gathering of trying to figure their needs and helping them find how to do it and apply it. And a lot of this can be done with very simple things. It doesn't need to have all these complex workshops and stuff, right? It can be done with just simple things, simple communication. Bring it back to the basics and turning it into um, simple, the requirements gathering. I mean, ask the people what they want, give them the opportunity to talk about it, document it, put it up in a platform, have them vote on it to validate if that's what they want or not. Building into the process the whole capturing thing and account management stuff, and making sure that they feel like they're needed, rather than just kind of developing things and creating things that they don't want, right? Because we all know the story of what the memes that you see on the internet, right? Facebook and all this, or LinkedIn, it doesn't matter. But the whole thing, if this is what the customer asked for, and then the end, this is what they got, and it's two completely different things, right? Or the whole thing of this is what the customer wants, and this is what the budget allows to do, right? Same kind of thing. But it really these are things that help us handle expectations and get us through It's sometimes good to stop things along the way, right? I mean, sometimes we think that success is always finishing what was started, and that's not always true. Sometimes it's good to stop things quickly, to really stop it, right, and to finish it off, and to say no. You don't have the budget to do this, right? This is going to cost too much, or your requirements are way out of hand. I mean, I've stopped projects. I've said, look, what you're asking for cannot be done technically for the next 5, 10 years. And they said, oh, you can't say this. I said, yes, I can. You don't know who you're talking to. And I've actually said, I said, I've taken your deal. I've gone to every CTO and vice president of technology of all of the different technologies in this field over the past 3 days, called them all, because I've worked at some of those companies, right, in those roles. And they trust me. And I said, here's what this prospect wants. What do you think? And every single one have said, we won't be doing that for 5 to 10 years. So I had to tell this customer project and this prospect, say, look, they all said this. And that kind of scared them. I said, look, the kind of thing you're wanting, if you want this, it's going to cost you so much money. And I'm warning you how much it's going to cost you. And I'm being upfront. And, you know, no problem for me to say this because I know what I've done. And I know myself that it's not possible because I've been working on this for like 3 decades, right? But now I validate with all the other CTOs and vice presidents, techs, and all these the directors. It doesn't matter what you want. It's going to cost you so much to do. It can be done, but it's going to cost you so much. Are you willing to pay for it? Made them think. They ended up doing that. There's something else, right? So it made them do some of this stuff, right? So I think this is really key to understanding capture requirement and doing it on a daily basis and doing small chocolate bar kind of attempts, right? Don't try to attack it with the big pie, right? Or the big cake, the big birthday cake. Do it in small little Snickers bars, the teeny ones, right? And build it up, and get to it where you give them the taste and doing it, and find it because it's cheap. It's less expensive to actually find out that at some point in time. Sorry, I get the LinkedIn things kind of popping up, but that's nothing. I'm not looking at them. These notifications. That's the problem with these things. You don't turn them all off. It ding dings in the sound in your headphones, right? In the microphone. But so if you do it in a small approach, implemental approach, we call it the incremental approach or stuff. I call it the candy bar approach, the mini candy bar approach. You just do it one by one. You kind of lead them on and bring it in, see if the need's there. And it's easy to cut it off early, right? And to stop it early. Then to get to it or to do the big bang, do several like massive workshops, and then say, oh, we can't do it. Duh, because it would have cost so much to do it. So keep it simple. Looking forward to the book. So I can read in English or French, doesn't matter, right? So, hey, send it me in Haitian Creole. I'll read that one too. Oh, you probably don't have an Haitian Creole. You want me to do it in Haitian Creole for you? So, but hopefully that gives some thoughts. Kind of cross-valley now. Design thinking is a really key thing. I think that the problem is design thinking over the past decade has been made to be way bigger than it needs to be. It can be simple. It just people need to. And I think this is what you're saying. I think this whole thing of doing the things on a daily life. It's easy things. Just the title gives me an idea what it is, right? And not turn into these. In French we call it faire une gaz, right? So in English, I think the equivalent would be to boil the ocean, right? Just to turn into way something bigger than you need to do. You don't need to boil the ocean. All you need to do is just heat up a bunch of little pots of water or coffee, right? And do it that level. And once you've done everyone using tea kettles across the world, you've boiled an ocean of water, right? But just do it incrementally. So on a daily basis, everybody in their homes rather than trying to attack the ocean with this huge heater, right? So that's the thoughts. Hope it helps. Maybe it won't in all ways, but just some thoughts and might cross-validate what's happening and other things that are bad too. More people coming, so it's going to get noisier here. Take care.